Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. I've got another what's for dinner for you guys. This is where I share all the meals that we have for the previous week, regardless if I cook at home or if we eat out, whatever the case is. I share real life, realistic dinners. If you like that kind of content, definitely consider subscribing and joining my YouTube family. But let's go ahead and get cooking, y'all. On Sunday night, Luke wanted steak, so we cooked up some steaks, some hot dogs, and then we did some stuffed mushrooms on the grill as well. And then inside, I made some cheesy broccoli, and then there is everything. And then I also baked some potatoes, and then I just got out all of the fixings. Here is my plate. This was so good, and I ended up putting my cheesy broccoli on top of my potato, and oh, it was delicious. On Monday night, we went over to my sister-in-law's to eat. This was Luke's last night here for a little bit. I had said in my last couple videos that he did get a job and he is in training right now, so this was his last meal. But she cooked some corn, some green beans and potatoes, some mac and cheese, and then she made little like mini meatloaf balls, and she didn't put ketchup on mine because she knows that I don't like ketchup. So on Tuesday night, it ended up only being Winston and myself. So I had already thawed out chicken because I had forgot that it was only going to be me and Winston. So I decided to cook Winston's favorite chicken. This is his favorite baked chicken. For him, it is the Ranch Ritz chicken. I have shared that on my channel before, so I will have a video to that linked below. But I fixed that for him, which y'all, he ate both of those. He ate both of those chicken breasts. I was super impressed. And then I also roasted up some sweet potato. And then for myself, I made Alice Springs chicken. It was a new to me recipe. It's a copycat recipe of Outback. And so I will be sharing that this coming week in a new copycat recipe video. So make sure y'all stay tuned for this. I also cooked up some mac and cheese, but this dinner was delicious. On Wednesday night, I just kept it super simple and made breakfast sandwiches. It has been sounding so good to me. Normally we'll do breakfast like every other week or whatever because my father-in-law really likes it. And we normally do like the whole biscuits, gravy, eggs, and all that. And I was like, you know what? I just want a breakfast sandwich. So I just cooked up some bacon. I pulled out these ciabatta rolls from the freezer, let those thaw out the night before, and I'm just toasting those up on there as well. And then I'm just frying up some eggs, add some cheese, and I'm telling you, this was the easiest thing ever. I didn't cook anything with it, but it was so filling and really delicious. So I am getting supper going for ourselves, and I'm making a freezer meal or a meal for a family in our church. So I am just doing it all together. I'll bake ours later, and then I'm going to send theirs cold so they can bake when they, can make it. So I have a lot going on, but I promise this is really easy and it's really good. We're going to do some stuffed shells. So I have got my water boiling for my noodles, and then I'm going to cook up my ground beef with some peppers and onions and some mushrooms. Season that up, get that going, and then we will use my canned spaghetti sauce for that. And then for the stuffing, the cheese filling mixture, I'm going to do spinach, some garlic with extra seasons from the cabinet, Parmesan cheese, Italian cheese, and then ricotta cheese. You can use cottage cheese or ricotta cheese, or you can do half and half. I prefer ricotta, just like you use what you want. And then I also add in some eggs to help with this, keep it from getting runny, and help it with stability. So that is kind of what we got going. I'm just going to set y'all up. I'll talk you through with a voiceover whenever I do edit this. But that's why I'm making so much, because I'm technically making 2 meals instead of 1 meal. I've only got 1 box of the jumbo shells, and I'm not sure how many's in there, so I did pull out the manicotti shells, so if we need those, I can use those as well. I'm not going to like mix match, but 1 will be for us and 1 will be for them. So let's get the meat cooking up. I'm going to cut up the mushrooms, and then this is already chopped up, so we'll just add that in and get everything cooking up. We're going to go ahead and mix together the filling. So I'm just going to go ahead and add in both of those things, ricotta cheese. And then I am going to add in some seasonings. I used Italian seasoning, and I'm using minced garlic. If you don't have minced garlic, you can just use like garlic powder if you want to. And then I'm going to go ahead and add both of those bags of cheese. That was the Italian style and the Parmesan. And then here I'm going to add in my garlic, and then I will also add in 2 eggs. And then I'm just gonna mix everything together. I'm also gonna add in my spinach. I just mix everything until it's well combined. And then we will just set it to the side until everything else is ready. I'm just adding in a little bit of garlic. I'm just going to cook that around for a minute or 2 to get fragrant. Then I'm going to drain the grease, add in my spaghetti sauce. Okay, while everything is cooling down, since I'm making them early, we'll bake ours later tonight, and then she'll bake hers at her house. I'm letting everything cool down, so while that is cooling down, I am putting together a little salad for them. So I just got some of the salad mix, added on some carrots, some tomatoes, some onion, black olives, and some cheese. And then I'm going to send this Olive Garden dressing and some croutons with that. So that's good to go. I'll just put this in the fridge, and then they can have stuffed shells and a side salad. Everything is cooled down, so it is ready to be filled. So I'm going to go ahead and fill my shells with my cheese mixture. It is so much easier to fill them with a piping bag, I'm telling y'all, or even just use a Ziploc bag and like cut the corner off. Makes it so much easier. So I didn't cook the manicotti yet. I'm going to go ahead and see if this is enough, and if not, then I can cook the manicotti. I just didn't want to have an overabundance of shells to stuff. So we did those. I've got a little bit of sauce in the bottom of these, as well as some little mini mozzarella pearls. I thought that would be good. So I put some of that in there, and then our sauce is also cooled down. So if I am doing this, you know, prepping this ahead, I like to make sure everything is cooled down. That way when I assemble it, all I have to do is wrap it up and put it in the fridge or send it to somebody like I'm doing today. It makes it so much easier. That way you don't have to, you know, if you assemble it warm, it's gonna just hold in the heat. So it's gonna take longer for your freezer meal or prep, whatever, to cool down. So if you let it cool down individually and build it cooled, then all you have to do is wrap it up and put it up. So it makes it really easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and just fill my shells. I've already washed my hands. So we're just gonna get y'all in camera here. Fill the shells and get them put in these pans. So I ended up actually getting 3 pans of filled shells. I only had enough of the like veggie meat sauce to go on 2, so I did it on the church members, and then I also did it on the one in the glass pan. And then the other one that I actually had spaghetti sauce, meat sauce already made up, and it was in the freezer. So I just pulled it out and I just topped it after it thawed out a little bit with that other one. And I ended up cooking both of those for supper that night, so that way Winston would eat it too, because like lasagna and baked pasta is one of Winston's favorite things. And so I really wanted him to be able to enjoy this as well. So it was actually worked out perfect because I was able to have one with the vegetables and one without, and he ate a ton of it. He said, "Mama, this is one of my favorite things." Next up, I made a crockpot recipe. This was tamale pie. You guys, this was so good. So I've made versions of tamale pie before, but I normally just bake it in the oven, and doing it in the crockpot is honestly my favorite way. I will be sharing this later in the week in one of my Crocktober videos, so make sure you are subscribed and stay tuned for this recipe. It was delicious. We ended up having this for Friday night and Saturday night. We ate it for leftovers, and it was so good leftover as well. And that's it, you guys. That wraps up today's video. I really hope you enjoyed these super easy and delicious weeknight dinner ideas. Just remember, it doesn't have to be fancy, just as long as your family is fed. That is all that matters at the end of the day. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.